Kia ora basketball family, welcome back to another week of Hoop Heads. Massive first week in Tauihi, which we will cover, but there is a lot more to get through on tonight's show. And we are talking about the Breakers, who are 2 games down in the States, and we have the update on Taco. It is your wrap from the secondary schools down in Palmy. And it's the Liberty and the Lynx and the WNBA Final Series. Kia ora everybody, welcome back to another week of Hoop Heads. This is week 2, Brook here, joined on the couch from the furthest part away. Casey Frank is back for week 2, Andrew Mulligan, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome back to Hoop Heads this year, and Tommy is back for another year as well. And
good to be back.
Tommy, let's start with you, man. Life's a little bit different. How are you feeling? You're officially past off-season, you're officially retired, you're a courtside reporter now. How's?
Tell you what, it's a little strange. It was very strange walking into Spark Arena in a very different uniform, being on the sidelines, watching things from the sidelines, and just, I didn't understand really like what the atmosphere is like at Spark Arena when you're on the other side.
How'd you find it?
To be honest, I didn't know how I was going to find it. I don't really miss the playing part, so I enjoyed just watching and being a fan.
Yeah, I feel that. Mels, what you been up to, man? It's been a while.
Nothing, man. Haven't been doing anything. It's been great.
Bit of this, bit of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously it was a big week just gone Tauihi, which we will cover. But who caught your eye in week 1?
Oh, there's a lot of top-tier talent coming through, but top of that heap for me, Ashley Jones. Yeah. She is a scorer extraordinaire.
She is tough. Now, sticking to the women's basketball as well, the playoff picture has officially taken place as the finals, and the Liberty and the Aces are here halting their quest for a three-peat. And we look up here, the Liberty talk the Aces. Obviously, Asia Wilson, that squad, won't be a part of the finals for the first time in a while. The Lynx will be seeing the Liberty in the finals as well, which is going to be a huge series. Case, obviously, you as our New York local, obviously you've been in New Zealand for a long time, but our New York local, you've been covering this a little bit.
Yeah, it's great to see the Liberty fight all the way back. They obviously had this circled from a year ago when they got knocked out. We're really trying to chase down this Aces squad, and they climbed the mountain because with Asia Wilson inside, or with Kelsey Plum, this was a fantastic team, but Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, the way that team played, I think the size of that front line, it's 6'4", 6'4", 6'6", just too much for the Aces in the end. And when it comes down to it, man, three-peat's tough to do. You get that bullseye on your back, and everybody's gunning for you.
Without a doubt.
Top 2 teams meet in the final. That's what I like to see. Sabrina's also got the cleanest shoe in the game, men's and women's.
She does have some nice kicks, though.
Yeah, it's nice.
Tommy, I want to speak to you on this point as well, because like Casey said, it's hard to have a three-peat, but it's hard to go and beat that team as well. How do you get over the hump?
How do you get over the hump of getting the three-peat?
Well, you can actually answer on both sides as well, because you've got them both.
Yeah, well, you know, the challenge is there for both of them, isn't it? To go back to back to back and win a three-peat, very hard to do. Westgate girls did it. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But to come and win a championship requires an incredible amount of mental toughness, and the playoff battle, the playoff journey to get to that finals is really tough too, but awesome to see the 2 best teams there.
Yeah, it's the best time of the year as well. And game 1 of the best of five finals tips off Friday, 1 p.m. our time. That's going to be on ESPN2, followed by game 2 on Monday. Then the 2 teams move to Minnesota, where game 3 will be hosted on Thursday next week. And if we need game 4 and 5, that will be happening as well. But it's right around the corner now. The opening game of the season of the Tauihi went down on Friday, and the Queens take care of the Southern Hoiho down in Porirua. The Whai, we'll go with the word demolished the Polkai. This is the bit of the worry part here, is the new injury concerns. The reigning champs kicked off their season with a win over the Hoiho. The Southerners, they go 0-2 in the week as well. I want to start with that top one there, the Tukumanawa Queens. And, I mean, they had some standouts across the board, but Lou Brown really did her thing.
Lou Brown, 25 points and 16 rebounds at 77%. An unbelievable debut. What a stat line. We saw here most of her work coming from the inside, obviously 77% from the floor. But she stepped out and made a 3 as well, but just a really nice debut for her. Comes in and absolutely dominates. Great stuff from her first game.
One big thing as well, and it's huge for them to have this, but they didn't have the full squad out there. We spoke big last week about Chagas and what she can provide. Obviously, the point guard, when they won the first year, she's away last year. She's going to be huge for them this year, but she wasn't there. And what they can do without Houston as well, this is scary for the rest of the league.
It certainly is, and you can't worry too much because 4 of the 5 teams, they make the playoffs. You can't build into a season, but to know you can handle your business at home and then you've got the big guns arriving, that really gives you a lot.
I mean, especially no Chagas, no Horston, but also a team that was pretty sick across the board. Key was a little under the weather, only played like 9 minutes. A lot of that team wasn't feeling good, and at times the Tauihi really pushed that pace, tried to get up and in on them. Really, were trying to get them out of their legs, get them tired. But in the end, the one-time champs, not defending champs after losing last year, they had enough in the reserves to come out and really play well, but mostly behind Brown because she was just fantastic.
Well, we can talk to the point on Horston as well. She joins, from what we know, she's going to be in New Zealand as of tomorrow, so hopefully she plays this next round. But you chuck that in the mixer as well. From what we've seen, obviously she's spent a bit of time on the bench, but with the WNBA, with what they've just done with the Seattle, you add her into the mix as well. This team is going to be so tough to beat, and I can't wait to see them play the Kahu, which this is a match made in heaven as we get down there because Talia is back.
Talia is back.
Talia is back with the Kahu, and she's going to be huge.
Don't go under. That's the message, Talia Tauihi. She's honestly, with 23 points, 6 threes, and that's just a lovely pin down screen as well when you're operating with her. But that's too much air. She's had that shoulder reconstruction. She balls out every single time she touches it. She's in control every single time. And
as good as she was, I don't know if she had the best performance. I love the way that Penina Davidson and Amari Thomas play together. They're high-low action, fantastic. They ran this really nice action with a high on-ball and a duck-in on the weak side that every time Talia Tauihi came off that, she had choices galore. Could go into the post to Thomas, could hit the roll, or hit that jump shot. I mean, a very dangerous team that I think is still finding its feet with a little bit of a championship hangover. They're just coming into the season a little bit slowly. But as you said, they have time to get things together, and to start off with a win is an excellent way to begin your championship's defense.
Well, you spoke about Thomas as well, and it looks like she's come back and obviously gone away, played a big season during our off-season, but comes back and looks like she's in even better shape than she was last year.
Yeah, back to Finland, was MVP, championship again up there, but she does look like she's in better shape. And it's not, she's probably lost 10 to 15 kgs. Looks like she's getting up and down the court a little bit better, which is scary for the league because she was in pretty good shape last year. She was in great,
killed it last year.
Great basketball shape.
Running paint to paint, just dominating everybody as well, so that's frightening.
And step away, she can hit the three as well. And I think the one thing that is maybe concerning, we got a little bit of behind the scenes, but last week we heard that they maybe haven't gone through all their systems yet. There's still a lot to work on. So if they're playing like that at this point of the year,
watch out.
Yeah, watch out. It's going to be, Tauihi's going to be amazing. Final one, Kaysen, I'll come to you on this one because I know you're a huge fan. I know you're a huge fan of Ashley Jones, and the way she played to kick off round 1 for the Fly, she was absolutely incredible.
Well, WNBA draft pick a year ago, played for 3 teams in that first season in the WNBA. Didn't quite stick anywhere, but I'm not quite sure why after seeing this game. I mean, she can score in a lot of ways. An excellent handle, can score with both hands, can shoot it from deep. I love the way she pushes in transition. The speed in transition, you see how far off defenders are coming off, and because of that pace, then she's got the step back, the back moving without the basketball, backdoor cuts. She's got a team that's looking for her as well. But the speed, the pushing in transition, and the finishing ability with either hand, really special. I mean, I think it's 25 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, thereabouts. Really had her hand in everything that the Phi did. With no Michaela Cowling, with Jaeger going down with injury, and for both those players, look like they're going to be out for a while. A lot of that scoring load is going to be on Ashley's shoulders.
Every time Casey talks, boys, you missed it last week.
What is that?
Every time Casey talks, it's our new segment. It's called This Just In with Justin. Here we go.
Hey team, in news just in, Tauranga Phi and all of their injury concerns. Let's start with Michaela Cowling. Expected to fly into New Zealand next week off the back of foot surgery. I don't think she'll be available for round 3. A bigger concern is Morgan Jaeger. Broken left wrist out of round 1. She's in a cast for 4 to 6 weeks. Then will be re-evaluated. The Phi at the moment adamant that she will be sticking around and she will be here for the back end of the season.
And, you know, there is positives in there. There's also a few negatives, and that's tough to deal with. But that injury that we will see happen so early in the ball game, the Warriors, how are they going to fill this gap with both their imports down? And you see that there how early this is in the ball game. They're not going to replace. Tough for the Phi.
Well, it just puts a bit more onus on Ashley Jones, who showed she can do it all. And sometimes injuries and players being in or out, it simplifies things, right? Because it just simplifies your systems. You know exactly where the ball's going to go. You know who your playmakers are, and it just makes things a little bit simpler. People know their roles, and they go out and execute them. And obviously,
what are you coaching your own team? You're trying to sell losing 2 imports, including Michaela Callan, who was All-Star 5
glass
last
half
year.
full case.
Glass
Yeah,
half
I
full.
like your positivity, Tom.
I don't know. I'm thirsty. I need more than half a glass of water, because no MC. She was my favorite player in the competition last year. Not having her as a jack of all trades really hurts. Jaeger, no point guard. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Is it going to be Palis Hokianga coming in, the 17-year-old Rapid League MVP? Is she going to be able to step into that, take some of those minutes, and take some of those ball handling duties away from Jones?
What would you do, though? You're stuck in that sort of, rocking a hard place, because you're right, it is hard to get these imports. Michaela Cowling, we know how good she is. We know what she's done. But now we don't have these two.
Oh, don't show it again.
If you're sitting in that position as the GM of the Fire, what are you doing?
Well, when you're that good and the prognosis is 4 to 6 weeks, again, take a half glass full approach. Hopefully she's ready towards the 4-week mark of that. And what's she missing? 4, 5, maybe 6 games. So you just got to try and cover and make a late run.
You have never been. I used to get a cold. I thought I was going to get snipped. Okay, if you're not 100%, if you're not there for half a season, that's what 6 weeks is in this competition. Half a season, it's putting you behind the 8 ball. If you're positive they come back and they're there at that point and they're 100%, I'd keep them. If not, I'm probably looking to replace at least one, if not both.
What about when you went to Turkey? You're fine. You're 100%. Did you get injured at all?
Nah.
Tommy's never injured.
And maybe it's
like quarter seasons over there, bro.
of what Mo says is you just have to be there at the end.
Yeah.
If you can get there at the end, that's what matters the most.
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
More 4 than 6.
That's it. Well, keep this thing local, right? Kicking things off with a single A tournament for small schools. Aquinas College. Excuse me, I pray, Case, did I get that right? I got that right out of Tauranga.
I'm glad you're asking me how to
you so
pronounce
much.
Aquinas properly.
Couldn't quite get the double done. The boys taking it out while the girls finished just short in second. Takura Okotu, they take out the girls' side of things. And Tauihi College and Takura Kokiri taking out the representatives, the respective bronze medals as well. Massive shout out to CJ Flavel and Waikumiha Douglas Kurauna are taking out the MVPs as well.
Sophie Rogers on the girls' side really started for the Fire in the Rapid League a week ago, so nice to see the crossover there.
Impressive as well. These girls are playing at the moment. They are hooping in the double A competition. Christ College returned to the top of the pile after Napier boys took them all the way to the buzzer, which we will talk about very shortly. And the dynasty, Tommy, you'll like this. Westlake. High completed the three-peat with a massive win over St. Andrews, 97-69. Rosmini and Tauranga girls taking bronze here. Shout out to Canterbury Rams guard Tom Isaac, who was the MVP, with Kahu youngster Cody Williams-Seffel named MVP on the girls' side as well. And a special mention to Bailey Flavel, who was hooping from Takapuna Grammar. She averaged basically 40 points.
39 and a half?
39 and a half. We're going to round that up. We're going to round that up.
40 points.
That's
40
points in the tournament.
Look, even if you didn't win a title and you're averaging 39, you still might be my MVP.
Yeah. You did something right. You absolutely did something right. Tommy, I know you're happy about this. Westlake girls, there's a three-peat for you. You guys, there's just something special about this school when it comes to playing basketball at high school.
You took the words out of my mouth, Brook. It's a special school, and this is a special achievement for Westlake girls. To win 3 in a row is just incredible because there is so much turnover of players at a high school level.
Yeah.
So they've obviously done an incredible job with that program and that culture at that school to be able to sustain success for such a long time. So congratulations to Westlake. No one prouder than myself, mate.
The one thing I would like to mention is the mental toughness that team showed. You know, they had a little bit of kerfuffle in the Auckland Schools competition where they just about got relegated, had to play a game to make sure. Unfortunate for Commonwealth College getting knocked out of that one, but to go through all that, still come to nationals and play as well as they did, very impressive.
And they say, well, I'm going to say they say, but one of the greats here in New Zealand, his name is Nick Mills. I know not everyone loves him, but what he told me once is the hardest one to win because you have a very short window to go out there and win it. So the fact that they've three-peated, it's a feat that very few. It's the first since Church College in 2007 to 2009. Shout out to Church College.
Shout out to Church.
They have a three-peat. I think they have like 40 titles in total.
Church College sent shudders down the spines of many schoolboy players.
I was very scared every time I played against Church College.
Yeah.
There were some athletes in that team.
Yeah.
Most people were, Matt. Most people were. Now going to the other side, and shout out to Christ College. They obviously took out the men's side in a very, very, very close game. It came down to basically the final shot with Tauihi Isaac from the baseline out of bounds. If you haven't seen it, here it is. 5 seconds on the clock. You dream of this. 88 all to the cup.
Not the touch foul.
With the bucket for the win.
Tough shot, Tama. That's not a foul, thanks.
That is a clear foul.
Got a chance? Oh. That's a tough way to go down.
That's tough for Napier boys. It is, but great to have a game like that and decide a title like that to have a finish.
I do agree with you, Mels. I feel some type of way, and maybe we can address this right now, is it's a hell of a call to make for a national title when the contact is minimal.
Yeah.
Now, I know you say there's contact there. I'm glad the shot went in, because if it's one on free throws and there's minimal contact, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm glad he made the shot so we don't have to have that conversation.
Come on, Brook. Contact's contact.
Oh, okay.
He slid those hips right into him. Like, Tama's great. He took the bump and made it look like nothing.
I've
But
seen-
a foul's a foul.
He moved his feet. He got across.
Go easy on the refs, Brooke. Go easy on the refs.
You're right.
Whoa,
Sorry.
whoa, whoa, what is
You're
this?
right. Sorry, yeah.
What
I'll
is
go.
that?
Sorry.
Stacey, what a company man.
But congratulations to them. I think this is amazing for Tauihi Isaac as well. He just goes from strength to strength. Obviously, with the Rams and what he's done, you know all about the Isaacs, how they've been a part of the Breakers over the last couple of years. He's in a really good spot right now.
He's got a really bright future. I love Tama's game. I think he's incredibly poised. He did some wonderful things for the Rams this year, and to go out and win a national title for your high school team, like the sky's the limit for this kid. And the family has obviously got basketball in their blood. Brother Kai doing great things with the Breakers as well, and really excited to see where Tama goes now in his basketball journey. He's got some great options in front of him.
And one thing we didn't really talk about last week, and it's probably a good chance right now, really quickly, is his coach, Judd, is now our Tall Blacks coach, which obviously he steps up into the reins. I think as a now just a consumer and fan of basketball, I felt like he was the right option. I mean, there was probably a few, but Judd is now our coach of the Tall Blacks.
You look at the culture that he has at the Rams and the way that they've played last season, winning that title. He's the perfect fit for it. He's perfect fit. The progression from, Pero to him is fantastic.
Without a doubt. And he was obviously part of the Breakers, and so were you, Tommy. You're there for a very, very long time. It's actually kind of weird not seeing you play out there at the moment. But a couple tough losses for the Breakers as they head off to, or they're off over, sorry, in the NBA at the moment. They took on the Utah Jazz first, as we see, they're 116-87. And then another tough one. But it's the NBA, it's the NBA. What we're doing here. They lost by 55 points to the Philadelphia.
They got 84 though.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then they got 87 before that. That's pretty good.
I watched the start of the Philly game,
Yeah.
and the Breakers weren't actually playing too bad. Philly shot the lights out to start that game. Tyrese Maxey had 3 or 4 threes in the first quarter.
Why are they playing Tyrese?
The big fella Drummer was stepping out to the corner and shooting threes.
Is that Andre Drummond, the greatest rebounder
He's
ever?
learned how to shoot threes in the off-season, apparently.
That's impressive.
And it does happen too. And we will talk about that game, but let's start with the Utah game as well. They head over there, they play a couple games on the ANBL, and now they're in this window here. And I mean, yeah, it was a good first quarter, and then it became the NBA show.
It became the show, but really impressive to see Kareem Lopez and the way that he fit in that environment. The young fella who's looking to trying to become a first-round pick a year from now showed some good movement out there. Looked like he belonged athletically. He's 17 years old. At times it's going to come and go, but that was the biggest positive I took out of this game. Apart from nobody's been injured, which is nice to see.
Huge positive. We love that. Tommy, you've done this.
We played Utah last year,
Yeah.
and we got pumped by about 50 in that one. And playing at that altitude over there was ridiculous. It was one of the hardest games we've ever played, just trying to breathe. Good thing these guys were in Salt Lake City for a week beforehand doing fly fishing and some other stuff. So they really got well acclimatized and played a lot better, which is good to see.
When you go on these trips, what are you trying to get out of it?
From a basketball perspective, I don't think these trips help the team at all.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the Breakers brand to take them over and play against NBA teams. From a pure basketball perspective, the cons greatly outweigh the pros in my perspective. They've got to come back now. They use up all their bye weeks in the NBL. They have a tough enough schedule as it is, so you're adding a little bit more travel on top of that. When I say little, I mean an international trip to America. So the challenges of going over there and doing that 2 weeks into the season are really tough. Good thing they started off the NBL season with 2 wins.
Without a doubt.
great to get that confidence and go over there with a bit of momentum, but it's going to be a heck of a challenge for them when they come home.
Well, it was a challenge too, that 76ers game that we had, that we just saw there as well. But I'll tell you one person that didn't seem to find many challenges in it is that man right there, PJC.
That's one of the negatives of this trip, is that we've exposed PJC to the rest of the world again, because he is...
Look at him.
It's incredible. Like, you think, okay, I watch him in the NBL and I know how quick he is. He's arguably the fastest guy in the open floor with Bryce Cotton. But to see him do it against NBA level guys...
Slicing and dicing.
Miles, it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. He's going to get past his man every time, because you talk about like attacking hips as an offensive player. Parker attacks your knees because he's that low to the ground and he's that tough to stop and he's that quick.
There's a lot of shorter, faster point guards.
Hey, this case, I felt like what you were going to say was good.
It was important. It was important.
This Justin with Justin.
Thanks, Brook. More of a question. NBA and NBL, is the concept done and dusted? And what about Taco Fall? In the end, was it just a big beat-up? Let's hear what Matt Walsh had to say.
In terms of the future with Taco, like, we would love for him to be a part of the Breakers at some point in the future. We're also, I think there was some speculation. We're very happy with Freddie. He's the best professional. He's also an incredible guy, and it's kind of like we have this opportunity now to have two really great guys with us. Obviously, Taco can't play, and we're going to work with his agent to see what it could mean, next season or in the future. And that's all a work in progress. But just to have him around the team and to get to know him, for him to see who we are, I think that's the important part for us. Build a relationship for the future. For now, he can't play, and you never really know what the future holds. But awesome guy, good player, and I feel for him that he can't get out on the court.
All right, Tommy, what do you know? What do you know?
To be honest, I don't really know why they brought Taco in the first place, because unless you're legitimately looking at replacing Freddie, which by the sounds of it, they're not. They're happy with Freddie. Really tough for Freddie Gillespie to sit there and watch another big man come in and essentially you're on trial for a week in America against Taco Fall. Taco has a great pull. He brings the crowds in who love watching him. But honestly, it's a little bit of a head scratcher as to why they do that for this trip. I know they need reinforcements. It's 2 weeks, it's a lot of games, and they want to protect some of their bigs. But honestly, don't know if it's best for the team.
Well, I know why. Because I work in marketing.
Hey, there we go.
And the reason, like, he was a PR story. It's a great PR story. I'm not saying that he isn't capable of playing this competition. I don't know why I'd want to. I think he can command a higher dollar elsewhere on the planet. I think there's a lot of leagues that would pay him more money, that he would probably get close to the salary cap for this league if he goes to the right spot. In terms of PR, I think it did bring a little bit of shined a light on the squad for the time being. But from my point of view, it just never seemed like a fit.
You're getting Freddie Gillespie, who is a guy who can compete at the NBL level. Taco Fall, you can't afford what Taco Fall would command, because he's been in China, and obviously how much they get paid there. Taiwan, like it's, with all due respect, the NBA salary cap is beneath Taco Fall at the moment currently.
But if it was just a PR stunts, you can't be mad about it. Well played. If that was the case. Final game is obviously against OKC. Do we have any chance?
No. But it depends what OKC want to do with the game. Like, that's what I appreciate. I would have loved to have seen Chet v Taco, but that's not going to happen. I want to talk about when you guys came back and you dropped a handful of games. Were you just sort of inching towards that feeble window? Because the time zone change, the altitude, all that kind of stuff last season when you went away.
There's a lot of factors. You're playing with a different basketball as well, so you're trying to get used to that while you're there and then getting used to the other one when you come back. You've got to remember the NBA is a bigger court too, so it's a different game. The game's played differently. There's a lot more space out there. So coming back and adjusting to the NBL game again is an adjustment, and it takes time. When we did it last year, I think we came straight back and we were straight on the road again. At least the Breakers are coming home. They've got a home game against Perth Wildcats next weekend, I believe. So at least they're coming home. They get a week to prepare for that.
There is no rest for the wicked, that is for sure. All right, let's do this thing. Tomorrow night, the Fire host the Kahu to tip off round 2, the Battle of the South. The Hoi Ho host the Pauakai in their first home game Saturday night at 6:30. And to finish it off, the first grand final rematch of the season, the Queens.
Oh, buckle up.
The Kahu from Te Rauparaha Arena down in Porirua. But that's not all the hoops action coming up. We are busy tonight, 9:30. The Kings Taipans host the Perth Wildcats to open round 4 of the NBL 1 live on ESPN. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., you got an option. You got a couple options here. OKC versus the Breakers or the Liberty versus the Lynx kick off the finals.
I'm going upsets everywhere.
You got upsets everywhere?
Upsets everywhere.
Upsets everywhere. You had to have
upset in the
first
first
Casey
game.
Frank.
I'm going to go Cairns.
Oh, okay.
Cairns tonight?
Well, Perth is the upset, so you're going
Yeah,
Perth,
Cairns are my favourites, I think.
Breakers and Lynx.
Yep.
There you go. You had to have on the best. Enjoy. Basketball, big week coming up.